Hear ye, the king is back. And when I say that, I mean the king of all exercises, the back squat. Here we are again, week number 2 of our max strength block, really trying to peak out on maximum strength. Now, something I want to mention is this is 9 days after the first squat workout that you saw in my last video. And here we are at 255, which is, let me pull it up, 91% of my max. Now here we go. We're going at 280. If you remember, this was my goal weight that I was looking to hit when I started the phase. So let's check this out. And as you can see, you can kind of see that I have that routine and that ritual for setting up for each squat and really bracing and making sure I'm tight. And I really love the depth that I'm able to achieve here. Let's check it out. And there it is. Down and up, didn't look too bad. So what I want to do is I want to kind of include you guys and throw it out. What percentage of my max do you think that was? So you could go back, watch that squat again, and based on how it looked to you, what percentage of my max do you think that was? And I have an answer for you, especially because for me, obviously I can use how, my internal rate of, how hard I felt like I was working to kind of calculate into that. But I'll reveal that number next week in the final installation of this series, episode 17. So here we are, we're moving right along into session number 2, which was the overhead press max day, week 2 again. Here we are at 95 pounds. Something else I'll mention is the utilization of the weight belt. Now, I really try not to use that too much. My general rule of thumb is I typically will only put that weight belt on if I'm about 85% or more of my, of the training intensity. But here, I actually wanted to, especially with the squats, I started early because it's a whole, it's its own technique really. The bracing is kind of the opposite of how you brace without a belt. And I noticed last week when I was squatting, I felt like when I got heavier in weight, I wasn't utilizing the belt as well as I could, so I wore it for all the sets of squat, just to kind of actually get that practice of the belt before it got heavy, so I could make sure I was actually utilizing it as well as possible. So right there was a 130, and so that was actually my goal for the overhead press, and here we go with 135. Now looking back, I probably would not have even attempted this because 130 felt pretty heavy, but I really wanted to try it with the big plates on, and I did, and I'll tell you what, I'm recording this a few minutes after performing this exercise, and my core is lit up. And it already was lit up from the squats I did 2 days ago. So it just goes to show that when you max out, how challenging and intense it is on your entire body. And there's a misconception with core exercises. A lot of people, when they hear core, they think of like, abdominal training or crunches, sit-ups, and things like that. But true core training, when you look at strength conditioning, textbook and the science of it, core training is really the compound movements. So, the bench, the squat, the deadlift, things like that. And when you lift heavy with those exercises, you could even throw in obviously the Olympic lifts into that, anything that's compound multi-joint movement. But when you train heavy with compound movements, there's really nothing better, obviously for function, but for building muscle with your entire body, increasing strength and burning fat. Like, those are the things that you want to focus on if you're really trying to get a bang for your buck, and neglecting those exercises just isn't a smart thing to do. There is 2 max effort lifts in the books. Hey, listen, stay tuned for next week because I have a surprise for you all in week 17, and I want to give you just a short announcement. My Boost personal training program that I came out with sometime last year, I've just updated it, and I'm going to be releasing Boost 2.0, which is a bodyweight training program. Just really a comprehensive program for people that don't have a ton of equipment, might be out of shape, really looking to just boost their overall, just get their fitness started. So if you're interested in that, if you know somebody that might be interested in that, I would appreciate you reaching out to them. As always, thank you for the support. I appreciate y'all, and stay tuned for the final installment of this series next week. Peace out.